Number 20, senior Leon Thomas. Number 23, junior Bernard Randolph. Number 40, junior Jeffrey Madison. Number 44, senior Daniel Smith. Number 52, junior Ben Billups. And number 54, sophomore Larry Roby. And now the starting lineup for Westinghouse Warriors. Number 30, at a guard, 6'2", junior Michael Jenkins. Number 34, at a forward, 6'5", senior Reggie Austin. Number 42 at center, 6'5", senior Willie Taylor. Number 22 at a guard, 6'2", senior Skip Dillard. Number 24 at a forward, 6'7", senior Mark Aguirre. And the coach of the Warriors, Frank Lolino. And now the introduction of the team members from St. Joseph's of Westchester. Number 14, a senior, Bob Weigel. Number 23, a junior, Anthony Young. Number 24, a junior, Hector Gonzalez. Number 25, a senior, Gregory Austin. Number 31, a senior, Chuck Barrett. Number 32, a junior, Jack Slasky. And number 34, a junior, Pat Callahan. And now the starting lineup for the Chargers of St. Joseph. Number 21, a forward, 6'3", senior Jim Lentz. Number 22, a forward, 6'2", senior George Johnson. Number 35, center, 6'7", junior Tyrone Brewer. Number 12 at a guard, 5'10", Ray Clark. Number 11 at a guard, 6 foot, Isaiah Thomas. And the coach of the Chargers, Gene Pignator. The officials assigned to work this quarterfinal game, Alan Otto and Larry Petty. So there you have the starting lineups for St. Joseph's. It'll be Lentz, Johnson, Brewer, Clark, and Thomas. And for the Warriors of Westinghouse, Jenkins, Austin, Taylor, Dillard, and Aguirre. Now to call all the action for you, here's Floyd Brown.
Well, thank you very much, Tom Kelly. It's about time for action on the courts here. Dressed in the green and gold, and they'll be the dark uniforms if they show up that way on your television, will be the Warriors from Westinghouse. And the white uniforms with the red and white will be the Chargers from Westchester. Taylor for Westinghouse, and number 35, Tyrone Brewer, jumping. And the third game of the quarterfinals are now underway, with the control going quickly down to the Chargers, the ball high over the head, and back out it comes to the premier pair of guards in the state, as acclaimed going into tonight's game. Thomas and Clark, numbers 11 and 12. And that's number 11 shooting, not getting the bounce. The rebound bounded around and fought for, and we got a jump ball underneath.
Well, Floyd, you're right. This pair of guards is acknowledged by many fine basketball coaches around the state. Clark and Isaiah Thomas is the finest pair in the state. We should see a lot of action out of those two fellas.
Lentz at the line with Willie Taylor. We had a circle violation by Westchester. The ball goes over to Westinghouse. Inbounding the ball, Reggie Austin. They'll back off and give this kid Jenkins an opportunity to break the press if they do come down to Preston. The Westinghouse Ball Club will play a varied defense, and they'll change their offense up quite a lot, too, as they come in. It's yet to see what St. Joseph's will do against this Westinghouse Ball Club. Inbound of the ball, it will be Westinghouse from the far side of the court. Out it comes to the guard, Jenkins. Jenkins around the top of the circle, down in the corner. It goes to Dillard, who celebrated his 18th birthday on the day that they won the city championship. Dillard draws iron, the rebound goes over to Clark, and Dillard fouls him. The first personal of the game, and Dillard's the first personal.
There's Gene Pingatore. What a job he's done over there at St. Joseph, Floyd. He's really built that program up. Plays in a tough league, too.
He's beaten a lot of good teams to get down here. Defeated Bennett, and Bennett was undefeated going into that particular game. This is Ray Clark handing the ball down underneath, but the ball is slapped away. Willie Taylor comes up with it. Taylor, you'll be interested in watching, too. He's number 42. He plays center for this ball club. Aguirre will get all of the press, but watch this Taylor on the boards. He's quite a fine rebounder. That's Aguirre from way out front. Rolls over the Dillard, up with the rebound, back in for 2 points. Rolls off the rim. It looked like Aguirre would get the roll, but he didn't. This is Thomas with the ball. Stolen away from him. Excellent defensive play on the part of Reggie Austin. This is Dillard bringing the ball over the timeline now. 2-0. 6:25 to go here in the first quarter of play. That's Aguirre with the ball over his head. A lot of people want to call him the premier forward in the state. His coach called him the premier forward in the country.
All right. Watch Frank Lolino over there. There's a different switch. He's going to play a number. Set of numbers. He's going to run
the Colorado play. We'll see what the Colorado inbound play looks like here. It comes to Aguirre, and Aguirre, ball slapped away nicely on a fine defensive move by Brewer. Tyrone Brewer, the big center for this Westchester ball club.
Well, they're going to run Colorado again. They better run Nebraska, because that one didn't impress me.
Aguirre comes out front again. I guess maybe that's his code name. Aguirre is Colorado. We got it figured out, guys. On the attack, Jenkins down to the corner. It goes over in the middle to Dillard, but they're all over his back. A personal is going to be called. I think it's on number 21, Jim Lentz.
All right, let's watch this pass inside. Number 30, Jenkins, into 34, into 22, Norm Dillard, and he goes up and he's fouled.
Thomas drew the foul there.
You know, Dillard is not built like a typical guard, is he, Floyd? He's very muscular, a heavy set, but he can move.
He certainly does move well with the ball, and he shoots well, too. As a matter of fact, in the final quarter, when they went on to break the game open and win from Manly, it was Dillard, along with Aguirre, who was the real motivating factors there. Dillard draws air on that shot. Here's this little kid, Isaiah Thomas. He is tremendous. They say he jumps as high as Brewer, if not higher, and he's only 6 feet tall. Excellent ball hawking on the part of both teams, and we wind up with Brewer on top of Taylor, I think it is, down there, and we'll have a jump ball. No, that was Austin, Reggie Austin on the floor. Reggie Austin at 6'4" will be going against 6'7" Brewer. Kid Brewer doesn't score too much. They say he loves to play defense, and he takes care of the middle for the Chargers of St. Joseph. It's Brewer tying his shoe. His brother, or I think his cousin, I think it is, in professional ball now. He used to play with Minnesota. Brewer slaps the ball out of bounds, and it will obviously be awarded to Westinghouse. 2-0, 5:37 to go in the first quarter of play. Inbounding the ball will be Reggie Austin, and it comes to Aguirre. Ray was playing Jenkins very closely on that. This is Jenkins driving down to the right side of the circle now. Back out across court it goes to Dillard. Dillard high over his head in the corner to Aguirre. Aguirre doesn't get the shot. Dillard fakes, pumps, throws it up. No good. And they come up with a rebound again. The coach will probably hold up another sign if they miss another shot. That's Aguirre. Changes direction in the air, but this time Brewer comes up with the rebound for Westchester, and they're on the go. Isaiah with a beautiful pass down underneath. Isaiah Thomas slapped out of bounds and is going to be awarded to Westinghouse.
Well, this is the first team we've seen in the 3 games thus far, Floyd, that is playing a man-to-man defense. The St. Joseph Chargers are strictly man-to-man. Gene Pingatore believes in that defense. I don't think you'll see much zone out of them at all. On the other hand, Westinghouse is playing a 1-3-1 zone defense.
You can watch them. They'll vary it. A little later on, they'll go with a full court press. They don't like to stay with the same defense too long. They like to give them a good, different look. So far, not much scoring, only 2 points in the game. That was Aguirre missing. Dillard comes up with the rebound. They're kind of standing around a little bit. Can't get that ball to go down. Uh-oh, all the way in. Up, he blows the crip. And there's the outlet pass going down, and it's up and in for 2 points, and that was an excellent play by George Johnson. The 2 points is good.
I believe they called goaltending on that one, Floyd, so regardless, he made it anyway.
He made it anyway. It wouldn't have made any difference. The score is tied at 2 now with 4:10 to go here in the first quarter of play. High over his head with the ball, Austin. This is Aguirre going down the middle, throws it up and in for 2 points. The 2 points is good.
All right, we're going to watch Mark Aguirre now at his best. He loves this move. Crossover dribble to his left. He puts it up. Fine shot, but he fouls Ray Clark in the process. Basket counts.
That's the first personal on Aguirre.
Zone press here now by Westinghouse.
Okay. This is Ray Clark. Clark down to the corner to Johnson. Johnson. That's over to Isaiah Thomas. Clark from 20 feet. Nothing but net. The score is tied at 4 again with 3:40 to go in the first quarter of play. Westinghouse on the attack. This is Dillard handling the ball out front. Jenkins down to the corner to Aguirre, driving the baseline. Slapped out of bounds by Brewer. Excellent defensive move.
Boy, he's active for a big man.
He certainly is.
Well, if he's any relation to Jim Brewer that played at Proviso East and is in the pros now, I can certainly understand. He plays a lot
he
like
might be related to Ron Brewer. Played at the University of Minnesota, but I don't know.
This is Taylor with the ball. Turnaround jumper. Looks like they have a lid on it. Isaiah Thomas on the drive. He's got his running buddy, Ray Clark, all the way in with him. The shot's no good. Did he have position? No, he did not. Foul is called on Jenkins.
All right. Let's watch Thomas now as he kind of takes a stutter dribble here. It finally puts the power move in, and Michael Jenkins moves in. They call a foul on Jenkins. Close call, but it looked right. Gene Pingator giving some instructions out there to young Ray Clark.
This kid Thomas, well, the whole team is staying in the same hotel we are, and I had a chance to meet him yesterday. He's the most unassuming kid I ever met, and he's one of the finest ball players in the state.
There was a great article written about Isaiah Thomas in a Chicago paper a few days ago saying something to the effect, is this kid for real? I mean, everything he does is what a coach is looking for. Great academic student, just a worker, hustler, polite, coachable.
He's 72% free throw shooter. He's 50% tonight, getting 1 out of 2 at the line. 5-4 is the score now. St. Joseph has the lead. Westinghouse with the ball. Aguirre from the corner. Can't buy a basket at this point, and a foul is called on number 34, Austin, Reggie Austin.
Well, Mark Aguirre will take those shots. There was a tournament up in Round Lake community, Northern Illinois, Christmas tournament. He took 7 for 7 from the corner, made 7 out of 7 turnaround jump shots. He's not afraid to shoot. He's a confident player.
And one of the good things about him, too, he doesn't shoot and run. He follows up nicely, and many times he'll come up with it. Excellent play on the part of George Johnson. Picks up his second basket. 4 points he scored now for St. Joseph. They now lead in the game, 7-4. Dillard being hounded by Ray Clark. Aguirre over in this corner, being guarded by Brewer. Jenkins to Brewer's all over Aguirre.
Great defensive effort.
Great defensive effort. Fancy dribbling by Dillard. Traveling is called. It's obvious that they've assigned a man-to-man basis. They've given Aguirre to Brewer, and he is really hugging close to him. As the guys would say, like white on rice or all the other kinds of things that they come up with. This is Isaiah Thomas. He has his eye. Westinghouse with the ball, getting it down. Aguirre in the corner. This time, Ray Clark picks him. No, that's Thomas on him. Thomas tries to get it from the back, rushes the shot. Brewer up with the rebound. The outlet pass going down to Thomas. Thomas has it over the side, holding it up. No, he's going to jump it from 10 feet, and he's got it. Isaiah Thomas.
And Frank Lolino wisely calls a timeout.
And there's timeout on the floor with the score. The St. Joseph Chargers 11 and the Westinghouse Warriors 4. The fellows will be coming back out on the floor. We had a tight shot of Pignatore. There he is again, telling his guys, the Westchester Chargers, St. Joseph Chargers of Westchester, that they're doing a fine job. They're leading 11-4 with 1:51 to go here in the first quarter. Stay with what you're doing. Tight defense, fellas, and take advantage of the shots. This kid, Isaiah Thomas, is phenomenal. I would imagine that Lolino will probably want to make some adjustments for him. Over the timeline with the ball now. The Warriors on the attack. That's Jenkins with the ball high over his head into Taylor, who comes out to meet him. Taylor is the center. Dillard down 20-footer. He fakes, had protection there from McGuire, but decided not to shoot it. I guess the coach probably told him, let's get a little higher percentage shot. They were forcing him. Three-second violation called against Willie Taylor.
Well, we haven't had many 3-second calls all day, but as a coach, that was one of the calls that I hated to see the most. I just could not stand when my team was called for 3 seconds.
I imagine so. That's Isaiah Thomas with the ball over the side now. In case you're joining us late, we're not around for the first games today. That was Jim Lentz. Jim Lentz picking up his first basket of the game, 13-4 with 1:07. The first game this afternoon. Collinsville eliminated New Trier West 71-56. And Lockport eliminated Ottawa in the second game 49-43. Those teams will meet in the first game tomorrow in the semifinals here. The two winners tonight will meet in the second game of the semifinals tomorrow. Brewer on Aguirre. Aguirre goes around him and throws it up and gets it in. Mark Aguirre. Brewer took his eyes off the ball momentarily and has slipped through. Aguirre going in, passes over to the left. On the drive is number 30, Jenkins. He gets the basket, and the foul is called on Thomas.
All right, let's watch now the nice pass here from McGuire to number 30, Jenkins, and watch Thomas come across, make the foul, three-point play possibly.
Tim Brown has just come into the game. He's replaced Reggie Austin. And believe me, they pick up speed with this kid, Tim Brown. Watch how active he becomes when he comes in. He's an excellent sixth man.
I would think in a game like this, Floyd, both teams very explosive. 6, 7, 8, 10-point lead will mean nothing. They can get them in clumps.
That certainly has been the history of this team from Westinghouse.
Well, they're going to go for one, it looks.
They're trailing by 5 points, and they're holding the ball. Aguirre with it, going up against the zone. Fancy dribbling by Aguirre between the legs, and he draws a foul from Brewer.
All right, on the delay here, Aguirre goes between his legs, goes to the baseline. Tyrone Brewer probably made his first defensive mistake of the ball game that time. Two-shot foul. Nice touch, huh?
Big 6'7" man like that.
Boy.
Many of the shots you see him taking down underneath, he looks like he's off balance, and half the time he doesn't have a shot. Looks like he's forcing it. But later on, you'll see him start to make those.
8 seconds. Let's see who takes it.
Ray Clark driving in, throws it up for 2 points. 15-10 is the score. And there is the horn sounding the end of the quarter. And at the end of the first quarter, the score is St. Joseph's 15, Westinghouse 10.
Hello, hello.
When the phone was first invented, it was easy to dial.
Hello, Annabelle, are you home?
Because you didn't have to dial it at all.
Hello, Central.
Of course, as the phone system grew more sophisticated, so did dialing.
Central. Central, Central.
Soon people began to wonder if there wasn't an easier way. So we invented the wheel.
Dial. Look at him. Look at him. He's don't be afraid to call her, kid. Come on, or she can say
But
no.
people wanted an even easier way to dial.
I can't.
This time, we hit it right on the button. The touch-tone phone. It's almost as easy to dial as the original phone.
Robert, free for dinner tonight?
Now that's progress. Call your Illinois Bell service representative about fast, convenient touch-tone service.
All right, here's the last basket of the quarter. Notice the long pass down the floor. There goes Clark right in the middle, split that zone defense, banks it off the board, 2 points.
He's a fine player. They've got an excellent tandem of guards here in Clark and Thomas. St. Joseph were 7 for 9 from the floor. They shot 77%, almost 78. Westinghouse was 4 for 18, only shot 22% from the floor here in the first quarter of play. So 15 to 10 is the score.
As I analyze it, it's strictly defense. That's the reason there's a 5-point spread. I'm much more impressed at this point with the Charger defense than I am the Westinghouse defense.
Well, we'll see if there are going to be any changes, Coach. And Jack Burmaster here, our basketball expert, he'll watch the defenses and tell us the strategy as it develops. Turnover this time, McGuire with the ball, handing it back to Tim Brown, who is in the game at guard. He replaced Austin just at the end of the first quarter. Dillard handling the ball, being guarded over there by Isaiah Thomas. Tim Brown almost loses it. Down he goes to Dillard again. Dillard makes his move along the baseline, throws it up, not a high percentage shot. That was excellent rebounding by McGuire. Just tipped it over Brewer's head, but Brewer turned around and fouled him, picking up his second personal.
All right, here we go. Brewer's going to pick up his second foul here. Number 35, fouling Mark McGuire. Even though that's 2, that does not put the Chargers in good stead. They could ill afford to have a guy like Tyrone Brewer sitting on the bench.
Excellent touch. You know, I saw this in the same thing with the Manly team. They finally had to start switching guys off. McGuire is so active underneath that he draws fouls, and most of the opponents who play against him foul off.
Yeah, he has a knack of going up and kind of going into the defensive man, actually.
Isaiah Thomas, excellent pass underneath, but slapped out of bounds by Dillard. The ball will be awarded to the Westchester Chargers.
Well, let's see if St. Joe has an out-of-bounds play now to compare to Colorado.
Ray Clark with the ball over to the side, drawing iron, no good. Rebound goes to Tim Brown. And on the attack now, the Warriors from Westinghouse of Chicago. 15-11 is the score. We're in the second quarter. 7 minutes. McGuire from the twilight zone draws iron. Ray Clark driving. He sees Thomas in the corner. Thomas wanted to pass it off, but it was slapped out of his hands. Controlled by Westinghouse. Over the timeline, down to the court. Taylor puts a move on to the basket. He goes, and he gets the good bounce. Willie Taylor scoring for the first time tonight in the first game of the quarterfinal segment, the nighttime segment. It's actually the third game we've had today. Brewer with the ball almost walked with that one without putting it on the floor. Working the corner, Johnson. Johnson back over to Isaiah Thomas. Ray Clark. Kids pass that ball well, don't they? From about 12 feet away, bounding up, no good. That was Jim Lentz for St. Joseph. Bringing the ball up over the timeline is Michael Jenkins. McGuire's 2 for 11 from the floor. 2 for 11. He is not having a good night. Turnaround jumper by the center Taylor. He doesn't get the good bounce this time, however.
Post single pivot. Guard throws to the forward. Exchange on the weak side. They get a lot of movement in there.
This is Ray Clark with the ball down underneath. Correction, that was Isaiah Thomas. He comes back out to Clark. This is Thomas with the ball again. What an eye! Yeah. That's his 9th point of the game. They have 19. He has 9 of them. St. Joseph's lead 19-15. The thing that amazes me about this Westinghouse ball club is the fact that they miss so many shots, and it looks like they're kind of ragged at times, but they never really get blown out. You look around, and they're back up there within 3 or 4 points. Clark on a breakaway. He's got 3-on-1. What a defensive move by Tim Brown. Tim Brown beat him in front, but he caught his arm as he slapped the ball away, and Frank Lolino doesn't like that. He's up on the side.
All right, here's a questionable call now as Ray Clark drives. Let's watch him go up. Let's watch Tim Brown now. Let's see. Looked pretty clean, didn't it?
It sure did. That kid is quick, as we mentioned before. Ray Clark at the line. He has 4 points, 2 baskets in the first quarter. Throws it up and in. He's the second half of this guard tandem, which they say is probably the best tandem in the state. 20-15, a 5-point lead, 4:42 to go in the first half, and he gets the second one. Ray Clark, 6 points. Jenkins, being hounded by Clark, gets the ball over the timeline without too much difficulty. Tim Brown coming over to help out. They want to cut Brown off, but Brown, here's Aguirre. Still can't get his eye. He can't buy a basket. Battle for the ball, and it's awarded to Westinghouse. Could have gone any way. Reggie Austin. Part of the battle. Inbound the ball will be Tim Brown. I didn't see what sign he held up that time.
I was looking. He didn't hold a sign that time.
And they got it in all right. This is Aguirre with the ball, and he travels. Willie Taylor is coming back into the game, and Dillard is coming out. At halftime, we'll be bringing you the highlights of another Illinois High School Association Championship event. Be sure to stay with us. Clark over the timeline, being picked up at the half-court mark now. They're going to try to zone trap him a little bit underneath with a beautiful pass by Isaiah Thomas. Johnson with the rebound up and in for 2 points.
That was a great effort by George Johnson at 6'2", who got the ball, used great body control, leaned in, and just at 6'2", was able to get that ball over the likes of Aguirre.
23-15 is the score here, and a turnover. Johnson with the ball. Gets it out. Over it goes to Ray Clark. On the attack has Thomas to the right. Oh, Jenkins on an excellent defensive move. Takes it all the way in. Oh, what a move. We get one good play from one end of the court to the other, don't we?
You're not going to see many people take a ball away from Clark as easily as Jenkins did that time.
How do you like that for an answer? Isaiah Thomas from 20 feet away throws it in. And that is his 6th point of this quarter. Scored 5 in the first quarter, give him 11 total. 25-17 is the score. 3:07 to go. St. Joseph in the lead. Aguirre being 2-time. Jenkins on the middle. I think he charged. No, he didn't. He did not have position. They ruled that Clark did not have position.
All right, here's another call. It's close. Watch Ray Clark now. He's going to try to establish position, but he does not. They call the foul on Ray Clark. Michael Jenkins to the line, shooting 1-1. There's Frank Lolino. You know, he's dressed, many public league coaches dress like that in their PE outfit. They're ready to get out there and play.
He says, whatever you're doing, you might as well be comfortable. I got a little story to tell about him in just a moment, but let's see how Jenkins does on the line. He missed the first one to the 1-1 situation, and the ball is back in play up and in by Aguirre. This is the way he comes up with 30 points at the end of the day. Not from the shots outside, from just pure hustle underneath. That's Ray Clark. Picking up his 8th point of the game. Now we understand why they say that the pair of guards from St. Joseph's is awfully good. Johnson almost on his steal. Tim Brown getting it across the line. Yeah. The ball again is on Ray Clark.
Yeah, I think Ray would like to pull back from that. That was rather a foolish move on his part, and he knows it. You can't commit those kind of fouls right out in midcourt.
That was Ray Clark's 2nd foul, and the 2nd quick foul, too, sending Tim Brown to the line. He's not scored in tonight's game. 27-19 is the score, an 8-point lead for St. Joseph. He's got a 1-1 situation here. He could cut the lead here by 2 points. Boy, they are just not hitting from the free throw line at all. Ray Clark being hounded by Tim Brown. No problem getting it across the timeline. Johnson in the corner. This is Isaiah Thomas moving underneath. Aguirre says,
And Floyd, Westinghouse has now changed their defense, as you indicated they would. They've gone man-to-man. They've seen enough of their zone at this point because Thomas and Clark were picking it apart.
That was an excellent fake by Lentz. Ball bounded around underneath, and finally a foul is called. And it's on Jenkins. That's Jenkins' second.
All right, let's watch Jenkins as he fouls Pat Callahan. Callahan goes up. Jenkins just got a piece of his arm.
Pat Callahan, 6 senior, came into the game as a substitute, plays a lot for the team. 3.3 average scoring over the season. Fine rebounder, though.
Yes, he's done a tremendous job for as a replacement for Brewer. He's not as strong looking, but gets good position, Floyd.
He certainly does. The co-captains for the St. Joseph team, Jim Lentz and Isaiah Thomas. The co-captains are Dillard and Aguirre for Westinghouse. This is Jenkins on the attack, being guarded by Clark, 27-19. And they ruled that he didn't move it inside far enough. You want to explain that, Coach?
Well, he was within guarding distance for a period of 5 seconds at that particular case. Ray Clark was right up there, number 30 Jenkins, and just didn't give the ball up, so it's a jump ball.
Going to the line will be Jenkins and Clark.
I love those uniforms on Westinghouse, Floyd. That's really a different color, isn't it?
And the green and gold. They really come out in the green, too. That's heads up back. Oh, Thomas, what a move.
There's body control. Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas.
Let's watch this. Here's a replay of Thomas. Look at him. He double pumped that ball. Westinghouse comes right back for 2, though.
That was Dillard who threw it up for Westinghouse and scored. The man-to-man move. Beautiful. Well, the pass off by Thomas, and he comes out and gets the ball back. Isaiah Thomas from 10 feet. What a player this young man is. They have a 10-point lead with 1:20 to go. St. Joseph's over Westinghouse.
He's got 15, Floyd. He's got unbelievable.
He's 6'4'7" from the floor. Traveling is called on Aguirre.
Here's another look at it. Aguirre gets his feet tangled up, tripped over his own feet, actually. Thought he might have been tripped, but as the replay shows, an excellent call by the officials.
Ray Clark getting the ball over the timeline. He has all the way to the basket. He goes, and he has the same double pop move. Ray Clark. 10 points for Ray Clark, 15 for his running buddy, Isaiah Thomas. Dillard down to the side. Isaiah Thomas fouls him. No, the foul was inside. I thought it was called on Thomas. 34, that's Pat Callahan. I guess underneath this Aguirre has to be moved. And it takes a foul sometime to get him out of the way. He establishes such fine position underneath. Trying to open up a lane for his men for the drive as well. And Pignator has obviously warned his men to not give them that lane for the drive. That's Dillard, who throws it up and in for his 5th point of the game. He's got one more here. 33-22, an 11-point lead can be cut to 10 with this shot. And it is. The full court press by the Warriors. Ray Clark with the ball. Back it comes to Lentz. Lentz with the ball over to Thomas. That's Isaiah Thomas there. Ray Clark, they're going to go for one shot. 41 seconds, 40 seconds to go. 33-23 the score. Thomas down in the corner. Goes to Johnson. And the foul is going to be called on Isaiah Thomas.
That's his 3rd.
That could hurt.
Oh, boy, I guess.
We have a substitution coming into the game for the Chargers is number 24, Hector Gonzalez. Dillard bringing the ball across the timeline. He has Austin at the other forward with him at this point in the game. Jenkins back to Dillard. They're bringing Dillard back out front to do more of the ball handling. That's Dillard from the side. Air ball from the other side is Aguirre. Now he hasn't been. The foul is called on Jenkins this time. That's his 3rd personal. Tim Brown coming back into the game. Aguirre is now 5 for 14 from the floor. But the interesting thing about Aguirre, you can see he's been missing, but he got 6 points in the first quarter. He has 7 points in the second quarter. He has 13 points, and that's the way they mount up. Ray Clark. No doubt about this young man's moves, are there? That's his 11th point. He's 3 for 3 from the free throw line. 71% free throw shooter. This is Leon Thomas into the game for Westinghouse.
Norm Dillard came out, Floyd.
There are only 14 seconds to go. I think Frank wants to talk to him a little bit over there. High in the air, Willie Taylor. I mentioned earlier about his jumping ability. You got an indication of it right there. Tim Brown on the attack. 7 seconds to go. Over to the side, down in the corner with a move. And a foul. There are 2 guys on the floor. Is it an offensive foul? He's pointing to everybody.
Foul on 34.
That's Reggie Austin. It's an offensive foul. You'll see Reggie Austin take the ball. He gets the pass from Thomas down to the corner, goes onto the drive, and then going up for the ball, he charges into the man and draws a personal foul.
That was Gonzalez, who had assumed the good position and held his ground and gave up his body, so to speak, took the charge, and he's at the free throw line. There's Gene Pignatore, the coach at St. Joseph's.
Gonzalez, his first trip to the free throw line. Got a lane violation. Westinghouse still 1-1. We have a 34-25 score with only 2 seconds to play in the first half here. The third game of the quarterfinals. Now he makes good on it. It is 35-25, a 10-point lead. St. Joseph's over Westinghouse. The Chargers led 15-10 at the end of the first quarter. They picked up another 5-point and another 6-point lead at this point. Gonzalez makes good. Give them another try, and they will do it. From the twilight zone, one tried by Aguirre, draws air, and that concludes the first quarter of play. St. Joseph leading 36-25, and now here's Tom Kelly.
Thank you, Floyd Brown. An amazing first half of basketball by 2 of the most talented backcourt men you'll see anywhere, Ray Clark and Isaiah Thomas. Between the 2 men, they've got nearly 30 of the 36 points. Actually, they've got 28 of them, as the other 8 points, 6 were scored by Johnson and 2 by Jim Lentz. Truly 2 outstanding backcourt men. Thomas, though, with 3 fouls, and that could be an important factor before the game is over. We're going to switch now. Jack Burmasters in Tournament Central.
We're here in the third game of the quarterfinals of the IHSA Championships for 1978. Alley-oop pass to a 6-foot guard is what they tried there, from one guard to the other, and he gets up high.
Yeah, Clark can jump as high as anybody in the business.
Gentlemen, I found a bit of information at halftime. Brewer's not related to Jim Brewer or Ron Brewer or any other Brewer playing pro ball.
How about the Milwaukee Brewers?
I checked with them. And
personal is called on Jenkins. An offensive foul. He took his eyes off his man, and that's his 4th personal. Jenkins is a little upset with it.
He did say there was a young man at Proviso East that's related to Jim Brewer. I don't know who that'd be. He gave me the name, but I didn't catch it as he went by.
Well, Glenn Wittenberg doesn't need any more help over there at Proviso East. He's loaded.
He says, I'm not there, guys. Leave me alone.
Hey, beautiful pass.
Excellent. Jim Lentz gets the 2 points to open up the second half scoring here. Jenkins over the timeline, has Dillard to the left side, down to the corner to Aguirre. Aguirre quickly picked up by Johnson. Aguirre makes a move, goes in and throws it in for 2 points. Mark Aguirre. This is Lentz with the ball, driving down to the middle. Johnson Isaiah Thomas with the ball high over his head. He wants to go underneath to Lentz and decided better. Went back out to Ray Clark. Johnson, the ball goes over to Lentz. Lentz at the 20-foot mark. Down inside it goes to Brewer. There is Johnson from 15 feet away, drawing iron. Rebound by the big forward, Aguirre from Westinghouse. 38-27, Aguirre takes the ball all the way down. Slapped at by Isaiah Thomas. He misses, though. Dillard from the other side, in and out, no good. Rebound, Lentz. Lentz over the timeline to Thomas, putting a move on, but Dillard cut him off. He stops, fires from 15 feet. Rebound controlled by Jenkins. No foul. 38-27, 6:20 to go here in the third quarter of play. That's Austin over the corner, who brings it back out with a beautiful shot as Mark Aguirre. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, Television 9.
All right, let's watch Mark Aguirre now as he goes against the grain, comes up with a tough shot, and Tyrone Brewer comes across. Two-shot foul. That is what now, Floyd? 3 on Aguirre, or 3 on Brewer?
3 on Brewer. Aguirre makes it a 2-point play. He has 4 points here in the second half, giving him 17 on the evening's activity. 6:15 to go. The lead is now down to 9 points. Personal is called on Tim Brown of Westinghouse. That's Tim Brown's second personal since coming into the game. Second team foul for the second half here.
Westinghouse is back man-to-man. It's going to be awfully difficult to play the two Charger guards man-to-man. And speaking of offense, the St. Joseph team against a man-to-man runs what many coaches these days call emotion offense.
Dillard on a fine defensive move, slapped the ball out of the hand of Ray Clark in the middle and goes out of bounds. Tim Brown is coming out of the game. He's being replaced now by Leon Thomas, who at 5'10" is another of the quick guards for this Westinghouse ball club. Double dribble is called against Johnson. Turnover to Westinghouse. Inbounding the ball will be Reggie Austin. Bringing it up now, believe it or not, is their big forward, Aguirre. Boy, he's quick with the ball. He's an excellent dribbler. Thomas on the side, down to the corner goes to Austin, and he hits. Reggie Austin, his first basket of the evening. Almost a trap on Clark. He's a fine ball handler, though. Gets it out of there to Jim Lentz. Back it goes to Thomas, down to the side. Out front to Clark. They move it around, but he throws it away off the hands of Jim Lentz.
Right now, you sense that Westinghouse has got control of the game, and Gene Pingatore, I think, feels the same way. Timeout, he called.
Timeout on the floor, and the score, St. Joseph 38, Westinghouse 31.
I use my phone book. Maybe you're one of the great.
On the St. Joseph's Chargers Ball Club, Gene Pingatore, the coach, been their record of 118-83. This team, St. Joseph, beat Westinghouse earlier by 1 point. They've lost only one game this year. They lost to St. Lawrence by a score of 57-55. Over the timeline, the ball, the Westinghouse Warriors. That was Austin handling the ball. That's Aguirre from the other side. This time it draws iron, rolls across the basket. Excellent rebounding on the part of George Johnson. Winds up the hands of Thomas, who gives it back to the ball handler, the point guard, Ray Clark. Ray Clark being guarded very closely by Leon Thomas. Out it comes to Callahan, back down to the corner to Clark. Clark, air ball, rebound, very good by Willie Taylor. That's Dillard. Dillard over, it goes to Austin. Dillard back across to Thomas. Thomas looking underneath to Taylor, but instead shoots a 20-footer. Draws iron, no good. Taylor with his move, pass underneath.
22 after the pass!
Oh, excellent call by the referee. George Johnson gets the foul.
All right, let's see what happens there, Floyd. 42 on the dribble. Goes down in, and as you can see, 22 comes over the back. Foul on
George Johnson. 38-21, 38-31, a 7-point lead now. Back into the game for St. Joseph, or correction, for the first time is Chuck Barrett into the game for St. Joseph. This is Ray Clark. Oh, what a dribbler. Between the legs, behind the back, any way he needs it. Isaiah Thomas giving it to Clark. Clark being hounded by Thomas in there. Isaiah Thomas with the ball from 20 feet.
You know, he just knows the ball is going to go in, doesn't he?
It's just an extension of his fingertips when he lets it go. Thomas down to the corner, he goes to Austin. Austin back out the top to Dillard, looking into Taylor in the middle, decides to dribble. Thomas is given over to the other side, turn around by Acquire, goes around, doesn't get the good bounce. Taylor puts it up and in for 2 points, his 4th point of the game. A 7-point lead again. The Chargers get the ball out to Clark. Excellent defense. Aguirre. He's all over the court. This is Dillard on the drive. Takes it down to the side. Throws it up. No good. Taylor with the rebound up and in. Willie Taylor picking up his 6th point. It's a 5-point game now. They get the ball over the timeline. Barrett over there. This is Clark. Correction, that was Thomas on the dribble. Foul is called on Thomas. Leon Thomas.
Let's watch this individual move now by Isaiah Thomas. Reverse pivot, comes around. Leon Thomas fouls. Did not call it a shooting foul. Going to take it out of bounds. We're still not in the one bonus.
Right, only the 3rd team foul so far here in this quarter. The ball comes way out. That's Callahan. Callahan with the ball over to Ray Clark. Back over it goes to Barrett. Barrett with the ball high over his head, being hounded by Austin. From 15 feet out. Lentz, Jim Lentz, the co-captain of this ball club, picks up his 6th point of the game. 42-35, a 7-point lead. 3:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is Thomas almost with a rollover of the ball, but they...
Gene Pingatore wanted it called.
They did not call it. Thomas is into the middle. That's Taylor. 15 feet away, throws it up and in for his 3rd basket of the quarter, and he suddenly comes to life. He had only 2 points in the first half. He has 6 points. That's very alert play on the part of Leon Thomas. This is Leon Thomas, number 20 for Westinghouse on the drive. Dillard up and in, no good. Leon Thomas waiting out, checking against the break. Austin toward the middle, and he calls the foul on Austin. That's the 2nd personal for Austin. We have a substitution. Brewer is coming back into the game. Pingatore doesn't like the way the trend is going here. He wants to cut that flow down. They're getting the best of the boards.
Well, since Leon Thomas has come into the game, Floyd, he's generated a little activity in there. He seems to be playing with a lot of verve and excitement.
I think the words probably from Coach Frank Lolino was to go in there and get on Clark and put some pressure on him in the ball. And that's what he's doing. He's just been hounding Ray Clark, who is the point guard, an excellent ball handler, but it does make things happen when the pressure gets a little tight, as we well know.
There's Big Frank, used to play football down here at Illinois.
And also with the New York Jets, guard, tough guy.
Had a nice interview with him, and he likes baseball.
And he also gives the guys a free pizza when they go over 100 points. And they went over 5 times this year. Ray Clark throws it up and in. He only gives them cheese pizza for up to 110. Over 110, they get sausage. Sausage and green peppers. And they went over 114 twice this year. 115 and 125 points. That's Ray Clark. They'll not get that high today, however. They only have 37 points, and we only have 2:35 left in the 3rd quarter of play. Dillard, beautiful pass over to Taylor. Turnaround jumper from 15 feet, no good. Aguirre comes up with the rebound, stolen away by Clark. Clark on the dribble, the ball slapped away, and he's called for carrying the ball. Westinghouse ball out of bounds. Inbounding will be Reggie Austin. Fine 6'4" forward who starts for them. This is Thomas for Westinghouse.
Clark looks like a young Lenny Wilkins in the face.
Who's that, Tom?
Clark, a young Lenny Wilkins.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's very placid. Never any emotion. Fine ball handler. Excellent shot as well. That's Dillard being guarded by Isaiah Thomas. Thomas for Westinghouse underneath to Aguirre. Aguirre tries the backboard. No good. Do you see who was up over the rim and got that? That was Isaiah Thomas on the rebound, and he's fouled by Dillard. Norman Dillard fouled him. Oh, was he up in the air. The kid is only 6 feet, 16, a junior, and what a ball player.
Boy, how'd you like to build around him next year? And Brewer's a junior.
Yeah, Tyrone Brewer, the big center. It's his 18th point. 45-37, an 8-point lead, 2:04 to go in the third quarter. High for the rebound, Reggie Austin. Taylor with the ball being picked up by Clark at the half-court mark. Good dribbling by Taylor here. Back out it comes to Dillard. Dillard being guarded by Isaiah Thomas. Down, he takes him into the corner. Turn around, pass over. Ooh, excellent defensive move by Brewer. Did they call a foul on Brewer?
Yeah. Let's watch now as Dwyer gets the ball on a nice feed. He's got Brewer out of position. Nice drop-off pass. And you can see Brewer gets the across the wrist. Luckily, he didn't get called for a technical because he batted the ball out of bounds.
This kid, Aguirre, we have a substitution. Chuck Barrett is into the lineup. They're taking Brewer out. Brewer now has 4 personals on him. He has a foul problem here. One thing about Aguirre, when he gets it, he'll take it to the boards down in heavy traffic, won't he? And he draws a lot of fouls. You explained that a moment ago, Jack.
Just on what I've seen today, this is the first game I've seen Westinghouse. I think he belongs closer, around to the hoop in the keyhole area. He's just so powerful once he gets the ball in there.
Taylor gets the ball and puts it back in for 2 points. And it is now a 5-point game. 1:42 to go in the third quarter. Ray Clark on the dribble, but the foul will be called. A 5-point game. 1:42 to go in the third quarter. Ray Clark on the dribble, but the foul will be called on number 34, Reggie Austin.
That missed free throw could be a big item. At 2 points instead of 1, a 3-point play instead of 2.
Reggie Austin draws his 3rd personal.
You really can't blame Reggie for that foul because Clark took off down the floor, all of a sudden stopped and came back the other way.
He certainly is a fine dribbler, isn't he? He maintained his dribble, although he was off balance and sliding. That's his 6th free throw of the day. He's 6 of 7 from the free throw line, ordinarily a 71% shooter. Coming into the game again, number 33 for Westinghouse, that's Bernard Randolph, 6'4", senior. He's a good rebounder, not much of a scorer so far this year. Ray Clark gets another. That's his 15th point of the game. Fine ball player. Taylor being hounded by Clark as he gets the ball across. 47-40, 7-point lead, 1:25 to go in the third quarter. This is Taylor with the ball from 15 feet, and he draws nothing but net.
Well, let's see if Westinghouse has been making a run at him, and about the time it looks like they're going to catch him, St. Joe takes off.
That's the kind of team this Westinghouse ball club is. You look up and you wonder why they aren't blown out by some of the shots that they miss and the way they'll have turnovers. But doggone it, they stay in there all the time. What a shot from 23 feet away. Isaiah Thomas has just hit his 20th point. What a ball player. Aguirre over the correction. That's Dillard handling the ball. Over to Thomas. Now Aguirre with the ball. Now Aguirre throws a little fake, doesn't even leave his feet. He took the bump, and so he threw it up. That's Chet Walker's old move there. He'll stay there and pump all day. 49-44, a 5-point lead. Ray Clark being hounded by Thomas. Traveling is called against Ray Clark.
Well, that didn't please Gene Pingatore. He really wanted his team to hold that ball for the last shot, but Clark just could not handle the ball at that particular point.
12 seconds to go here in the third quarter of play.
Here's a key bucket, Floyd. If they can score now, this is going to be a great psychological lift for Westinghouse.
The way they play, and you watched them in the last quarter, I don't count anything these guys do until from the floor. Westinghouse has raised from 33% to 38% from the floor. They're 19 for 49 at this point, and they trailed by 5 points And here they go for all the marbles.
Here's a big move, Floyd. They just put Brewer back in to start the ball game, or the fourth quarter, in place of Callahan. A little gamble on Gene Pingador's part, but I like it. I love it. I like
Coach,
it.
they want him there to get the tip, I'm sure, because his substitute, Callahan's waiting to come right back in.
All right. You're right.
Well,
Backfired.
Westinghouse comes up with the ball. It did not work. Jenkins with the ball down to the corner. That's Randolph with the ball over his head. Jenkins over to the other side. Aguirre takes his head off, but doesn't head away from it, but does not lose the ball. Being guarded closely by Brewer underneath. Slapped around and taken away from him. Finally by Lentz. The ball by Isaiah Thomas, and a foul is called on Aguirre.
That's his third. Brewer shooting.
Aguirre.
They still can't get Brewer out of there, Floyd.
Yeah, because he's going to the line.
You know, and everybody was holding their breath that might have been on Brewer.
Could have been. Although he had the ball, and chances are he's going to go to the line. He's got the ball.
Tyrone Brewer, as we said earlier, is not a scorer for this ball club. He's had one free throw, and he missed it. He's not scored any points, but he's a fine defensive player and an excellent rebounder. He got that one.
I tell you, though, he's come on the end of the season, Floyd, with his offense. During the state tournament, regional and sectional, he came on pretty well.
He averages 5.7 points per game. He's only he's a 67% shooter from the free throw line. He gets half of them there, and they'll get the ball because Taylor lost it out of bounds. Off the hands of Willie Taylor. They get Callahan back into the game, and Brewer goes to the sideline. 50-44, 6-point game, 7:37 left here in the third game of the quarterfinals at Champaign-Urbana. Earlier today, New Trier West was eliminated in the first game by Collinsville, 71-56. And Lockport won the second game, 49-43 over Ottawa. Turnaround jumper off the iron, no good by Thomas. Rebound, Dillard. Dillard maintains his dribble. Fine ball handling on the part of Dillard there. Turnaround. Oh, this Aguirre. He has great hands. We have a foul called underneath, and I think it's on Callahan. Lentz gets the
All right,
foul.
let's watch Aguirre now. Good hands as he catches a tough pass, takes the baseline. Lentz comes over, gets him across the arms. Aguirre on the line, shooting two.
Aguirre has 20 points in the ball game as well. He just has the points at the end of the day, doesn't he? He now has 21 points in the ball game.
You notice Aguirre, as he shoots, does not have pure rotation on the ball. It comes a little corkscrew fashion, but it goes in. That's what it counts.
It's kind of a knuckler, huh? He now has 22 points in the ball game.
Zone press now. And now they'll pick him up man-to-man.
This is the same thing they did against Manly in the city championships, and it was the thing that rattled Manly when they came on to win. They're trailing by only 4 points now with the pressure on. Isaiah Thomas comes out to handle the ball. Over it goes to Callahan, high over his head. Moving to the basket. Excellent move on the part of Clark, but he doesn't get the basket. Look how strong Aguirre is. He just took it away from Callahan underneath. Dillard, turnaround jumper from 3 feet. That's his 8th point of the game, and now it is a 2-point ball game. And the pressure is on. Thomas underneath. Good pass to Johnson. Johnson taking their time. Out it goes to Callahan. Callahan throws it away. Tried to get the pass over to Johnson, but it bounded out of his hand. Back into the game now is Reggie Austin for Westinghouse. They're back with their starting 5.
Brewer back in.
Brewer has come back to the game. This is Jenkins, who had 4 fouls on him and was taken out, but they put him back into the game, and obviously they want to go into their game plan. This is Aguirre from 15 feet, slapped that from the back, draws iron, no good. The ball bounced around underneath, and Taylor goes around behind Lentz, picks it up, and throws it in for 10 feet.
Hey, there's a guy that's had a great second half, Willie Taylor.
He has 12 points now in the game, 8 of them in the third quarter. They've trapped the ball again and snaps it out of the hands of Brewer. Will be awarded to the St. Joseph Chargers rather. It's a tie game at 5:43 to play. A tie game.
Gene Pingatore has just called a timeout.
And there's timeout with the score. St. Joseph 50, Westinghouse 50.
Warriors team was on the floor. I can't remember seeing more new cheers
in a year than I have. That Lockport team today, their cheerleaders had a great number of them.
There's both coaches now. Gene Pingatore a little bit edgy. Frank Lolino got a new lease on life now. He sees his team really with the momentum. Let's see what Pingatore has told his men. I think he said, let's get some more motion in this offense.
This is Isaiah Thomas, turnaround, slapped away by Aguirre. Thomas comes up with the loose ball, however, and throws it up. What a ball player.
What a pressure ball player.
22 points for him now in the game. They have a 2-point lead. 5 to go in the fourth and final quarter here of this game. Between the leg dribble by Jenkins, over it goes to Dillard. Dillard being hounded by Isaiah Thomas. The ball slapped out of bounds and awarded to St. Joseph.
Boy, there was a costly turnover. The ball just bounced off the foot of Skip Dillard.
Ray Clark being hounded now by Reggie Austin. Over the goes. They're trapping Brewer, but Brewer throws it out. A foul is called. Is it on Jenkins or Dillard?
I think it's going to be on Reggie Austin.
Reggie Austin. There he is on the other side. He was blocked from my view. That's his 4th personal.
No, that's number 5 on him, I believe.
5. That is his 5th. The foul. They're giving the foul to... We'll have to check and see here. He's going out of the game. All right, we have the right guy. It was on Taylor, and that was his 5th personal. A little mix-up at the scorer's bench there. They had the wrong number up on the board, and we had to wait to make certain that we were giving the foul to the proper person. 52 to 50 is the score. St. Joseph's leading over Westinghouse. Between games this evening, we'll be interviewing some of the cheerleaders, and then Jack Burmaster will be chatting with one of the basketball coaches. Be sure to stay tuned. Brewer will be at the free throw line. 1-and-1 situation. He made 1 of 2 the last time he went to the line. He has the opportunity of giving his team a 3-point edge. These fellows have good balance, and later on we'll ask Jack Burmaster to tell us about their motion offense. High for the rebound, Aguirre. Over the timeline to Dillard. Dillard holds it up, being guarded by Clark. Over to Jenkins. 2 points they trail by at this point. There's Thomas, throws it away. Too fast.
Well, that time he anticipated that Skip Dillard was going to go backdoor for a baseline pass, and Skip didn't move. It made Thomas look bad.
Clark on the move, gets the ball across to Brewer. Brewer gets it across the timeline, holds it up, cross-court pass to Lentz. Jim Lentz over in the middle to Isaiah Thomas. He will shoot, won't he? Lentz gets the rebound, however. St. Joseph's comes up with the ball. Down to the corner, Johnson. Johnson from 12 feet, no good. Rebound this time to Jenkins. 4:33 to
good
go.
Percentage shots that didn't go down.
Wouldn't go down. They were well shot, too. They were inside. They just came back on them. Thomas and Jenkins at the guard. They're trailing by 2. Turnaround jumper. Up, no good by Jenkins. Look at Aguirre. Up for the rebound. Taylor playing keep away over. Jenkins no good. Taylor underneath. Foul on. This time is on Isaiah Thomas. I was afraid it was on Brewer.
Yeah. All right, let's look at all the action under the backboard. Brewer's got to be very careful. That ball goes up 3, 4, 5 times, and Brewer is kind of passive. All of a sudden, Brewer's going to make a move here. It almost looks like he got the foul. Instead, they call it on Isaiah Thomas, number 11.
That's his 4th personal, too. And that, of course, could spell trouble without this young man. He is quite a ball player. Probably the most exciting we've seen down here so far. Taylor inbounds the ball over to Thomas. Back over it comes to Jenkins. Jenkins on the move, looking to Aguirre down in the corner. They're holding it high over their head. Aguirre now is driving to the basket. And he gets it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is his 24th point of the game.
Another great example of his great body control. He can do things up in the air, even though he's a 220-pound kid.
They've got him trapped, and they get a turnover. And he's alert, too. Very quick. Marvelous reflexes. He'll be a starting power forward for some college next year. Thomas, the ball high over his head. Down to the side it goes. Aguirre, Mr. Everything, drives, and Brewer.
There it is.
I guess if you're going to go out, don't let him get the shot off, huh?
All right, here Westinghouse isolates Mark Aguirre in the corner.
But he had a tough assignment tonight. It was his job to guard Mark Aguirre. The score is tied at 52. Aguirre will have an opportunity to give them the lead for the first time in tonight's basketball game with 3:36 left to play. It's 52 all. The lineup now: Leon Thomas, along with Austin, Aguirre, Taylor, and Jenkins. Mark Aguirre. He's going to get 2 shots here. Westinghouse takes the lead. The 25th point for Mark Aguirre. The 25th point still slapped out of bounds by number 22, Norman Dillard. He sure plays big for guard, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, look at the weight, too. He's a strong guard.
Yeah, he's 6'2", and he weighs 200 pounds. Almost a turnover. Ray Clark controlling the ball, dribbling, breaking the press by himself. Beautiful pass to the side. Excellent rebound. Correction, defensive play by Willie Taylor, who slaps it away from the driving Johnson. The ball comes back out to Lentz. Johnson with the ball over his head now. Ray Clark, between the leg dribble, being hounded by Thomas. 3:09 to go, 53-52, 1-point lead, Westinghouse. This is Lentz with the ball, being guarded by Aguirre. Doesn't want to go. Underneath it goes to Isaiah Thomas, throws it up. This kid doesn't mind, does he?
You know, what's amazing is they put a small guy in the pivot, a small guy like Thomas. Let him
said he was small.
Yeah.
He's the best guard I've seen down here since Quinn Buckner.
He is really something. 24 points for him in this game. That's Aguirre.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He'll miss those shots all night, and when it gets down to the end of the game and it counts, he starts to make them.
Here goes again with Aguirre on the baseline. There he goes. Goes the wrong way, it seems, and Callahan fouls. And once again, Aguirre's on the line for 2 shots.
27 points for Aguirre so far in the game. A 1-point lead for Westinghouse. 2:43 to go. He can make it a 3-point play. They come at you, don't they? Westinghouse. The Westinghouse Warriors now have a 2-point lead. Full court pressure. A trap on Lentz. Throws it over the head of, and it's out of bounds. Threw it over the head of Ray Clark. I had to hold up. I thought that Callahan was going to be able to save it at the other end of the court, but it was out of bounds before he could get to it. They have an opportunity to go up by 4 if they can convert now. Another turnover for both teams. Dillard rolls it around, throws it away. Alert play on the part of Clark. Clark going all the way. The foul is on Thomas.
Well, here goes Ray Clark now off the steal. Looked like he should have passed off. He didn't, however. He double pumped again, and Leon Thomas, I believe, came across.
He's got to get 2 shots. That's the second personal on Leon Thomas. He's really alert, though. This kid, he really has a nose for the ball. He goes right to it. Didn't take the fake at all. Got a half arm, but he got the ball as well. Ray Clark does not convert on his first one, and that's only the second one that he's missed. Prior to that, he had hit 6 in a row. He is now 7 for 9 from the free throw line, 8 for 10. .55, a 1-point game. 2:07 left to play. Jenkins and Thomas at the guards, controlling the ball for Westinghouse. A foul underneath. It's called on number 34, Pat Callahan. I think that'll be his second personal.
Yeah, Callahan was guilty that time of trying to front Guire coming across the line. He was really giving him that old bump and run.
That lady was saying, "Come on, Mark." I wonder if that could be Aguirre's mother. Boy, he has had some game, hasn't he?
He sure does come on. Oh, this is just an average game for him. 30 points. We brag on it, he missed the free throw. Isaiah Thomas talking about men having a game. He's got 4 personals on him now. That could be a factor. They aren't rushing it. Signature has great control from 20 feet away. Isaiah Thomas. What a ball player. Gives them the lead, 57-56. The lead now goes to St. Joseph's. 1:41 to play here in the fourth quarter. By far the best game we've had so far today. Jenkins on the control. Back out it comes to Thomas. Neither team rushing it. Taylor from 17 feet doesn't get the bounce. Dillard puts it up. Taylor up again. And the rebound fighting for it is Isaiah Thomas, and he picks up his 5th personal, and he's going to be out of the game. Isaiah Thomas, what a game. Here you see the play underneath. The turnaround by Taylor there. Taylor comes underneath again to fight for it after Dillard puts it up. Taylor going for it, and they ruled that Isaiah Thomas backed into Taylor, and he fouls out of the ball game.
26 points.
What a ball player.
He's the best guard I've seen since Quinn Buckner. He's amazing.
He certainly is. He certainly is. And he's only a junior, folks. You could see him again next year. They have the nucleus of a fine team, and their big man, Tyrone Brewer, in the center, the 6'7", 210-pounder, who fouled out a bit earlier. This was consistent with the Manly game. Manly, in fighting for the Chicago championship, led all the way. And in the final quarter, the full court press, the zone press, and then the man-to-man defense after they got across the timeline proved effective against them. They had 2 or 3 men to foul out prior to the end of the game. Aguirre continued to peck away at them, throwing in those baskets, and they went on to Aguirre. All right. This kid here can really jump. He'd come on in the second half, scoring 8 points in the third quarter. He has 12 points on the night. 1:19 to play, 57-56 in the third game of the quarterfinals. Remember, we have another game coming up right after this, and 2 real surprise teams down here. Tom Kelly is standing by. Taylor converts. The score is now tied at 57. He has an opportunity to put Westinghouse in the lead. And he doesn't do it. Jim Lentz comes up with the rebound. Ray Clark looking up at the clock, and they want timeout. Signature wants timeout.
Sense of time down here right now.
Sometimes it's important for people at home to reach high schoolers attending the tournament. In the event of an emergency, just call area code 217, telephone number 333-2923. That's area code 217-333-2923. We have 1 minute and 13 seconds left to play. In this, the third game of the quarterfinals here. Still to come will be the East Rockford-Danville game. To follow this one here tonight, over all the stations you're watching now. Ray Clark, they are going to hold on to the ball, obviously, here. And if they can, get the last shot. This kid's a fine playmaker. Remember, Isaiah Thomas is out. I was talking to a gentleman, Gonzalez has come in. He's number 24 there. And they say he is just as quick and is an excellent ball handler. And the foul is called on Taylor. Willie Taylor. That's his second personal. 1-1.
Boy, if you think there isn't some anguish going on down here, that's a young cheerleader from St. Joseph's, and she is just beside herself.
They want a timeout on the floor. It's timeout on the floor with the score St. Joseph 57, Westinghouse 57. We've got 51 seconds left to play in this ball game. It certainly has been an exciting ball game. Westinghouse trailed by 5 at the end of the first quarter, by 10 at the half, by 5 at the end of the third quarter. And here we have a tie ball game with 51 seconds to go. I pointed this out at the end of the third quarter. If the the trend continues, we're going to wind up with an overtime ball game. The way they're going, whittling away 5 points by each of the quarters. But neither of the teams want to see that happen. They want to come up with a victory. Tigers.
He'll have an opportunity to give his team the lead.
There's been so many missed free throws in this game. Not here, though.
Boy, that's a gutty effort.
It certainly is. A lot of pressure on him, and they called timeout prior to him going to the line, which put even more pressure on him.
Well, you got to give him time to think about it, you know, Floyd. That's part of the coaching.
And he makes them both. They're trailing by 2 points with 50 seconds left to play. Westinghouse on the attack. Jenkins with the ball over the timeline. He has Taylor at the other guard with him. At the forward, now, number 22, George Johnson, has come out to give them pressure in the front line. Johnson has moved over to Taylor. Down it goes to Dillard. Dillard driving the baseline. The ball slapped away by Gonzalez, and Gonzalez gets a foul. Draws iron, controls. Ray Clark. And the foul is called on Dillard. Norman Dillard fouled him. He'll go to the other end of the court. And this kid is a fine free throw shooter. He's been a shooter. He only had 1 of 2 the last time he was there, but tonight he has 8 of 10 from the free throw line. He'll be on a 1-on-1 situation. He'll have an opportunity to give his team a 3-point lead. There are only 24 seconds left to play, and this is the third game. Frank Lolino stands up and says, I want to give him a little time to think about it. And Dillard calls timeout, and so it's timeout on the floor with the score St. Joseph's 59, Westinghouse 58. What a ball game. What a ball game. We can say a great number of things about a great number of the fine ball players that we've seen down here today, but this by far is the best game. Frank Lolino, who coaches this team from Westinghouse, says he believes in hard work and hard labor, and go home at night and get a good night's sleep. That's his philosophy, and it certainly has paid off for him. They scored 115 points this year against Farragut and 125 against Round Lake. And as we told you earlier, when they go over 114, they get pizza with sausage on it. It's just cheese if they only go over 100 to 110. It's a family-type situation. All the fellows are over to Frank Lolino's house from time to time, and they have a great rapport. But right now, they've got a great problem. 24 seconds to go in this ball game. And as time is in again on the court, Ray Clark will be going to the free throw line, and he'll have a 1-on-1 situation. His team leads by 1 point. 24 seconds left to play. He's a fine ball player, too. He has 16 points on the play, so on his efforts tonight and tonight's play. 16 points along with his running mates 26 gives them a total of 42 out of the team's 59 points. Ray Clark, 1-and-1. Two-point lead. Mr. Iceman. He has maintained that placid look all night. That could be the clincher right there. 24 seconds, a 3-point lead. Westinghouse on the attack. Down to the corner, Dillard on the drive, being guarded by Gonzalez. He goes in, lays it up and in, and they call up personal. The 2 points is good, but the foul is on Dillard for charging. They ruled that the basket was good, but he charged afterwards and will go to the other end of the court.
You can see again where Dillard in the air gets the bucket and the charge. Going to the line at the other end will be Jim Lentz.
And Frank Lolino wants a timeout here. He's called his guards over to the side. No, they do not call timeout. Jim Lentz going to the line. He's the co-captain along with Isaiah Thomas of this fine team from Westchester, St. Joseph's Chargers. Tonight he has 6 points. Correction, he has a total of 6 points on the night, 2 of them in the first half, 6 on the evening. He averages 5.2 points per game. He's a 70% free throw shooter.
The delay here, Floyd, we're waiting for a substitution to come in for Dillard, who picked up his 5th foul.
Coming in for Dillard is Bernard Randolph, who was in the game earlier at 6'4". He's a senior, 190, good size. They trail by 1 point. Westinghouse, Link at the line. They lead by 1. They now lead by 2. What pressure ball players these kids are. Jim Link, the co-captain, now can almost put the game out of reach. He doesn't. Rebound, Taylor. Jenkins on the attack. 12 seconds to go. They trail by 2. Over he goes to the middle. Down underneath to Aguirre. Turnarounder from 10 feet. Bounced around underneath. The ball bound around. Out of bounds. Awarded to St. Joseph.
3 seconds left.
There are only 3 seconds left on the clock. Timeout is called. They got the ball to Aguirre. They wanted him to take the last shot. He took it, and he missed it. In the fight for the rebound, it was finally slapped out of bounds by Taylor and is going to be awarded to St. Joseph with 3 seconds on the clock. It's timeout with the score. St. Joseph 62, Westinghouse 60.
Let's take a look at it again. You can see the time in the top of your screen, 7 seconds, and there's the turnaround by Aguirre, and that ball just, and look at the battle under the boards, and a frustrated reaching in there, number 33, trying to get that elusive basketball.
That was Bernard
Randolph. He just couldn't get a fingernail on it.
That was Taylor around the other side. Randolph was the fellow who couldn't get control of the ball. Well, they trail by 2 points. The only chance they have would be to intercept the inbound pass and throw it up in a hurry to tie the ball game. Or,
well, look at Gene Pignator. I'm telling you, he is, you do this and you do that,
yeah,
and you take the ball, and he is really coaching.
The only other alternative, of course, if it would be to come in and the ball was bounded around and somebody was fouled from Westinghouse. 62 to 60. We've seen a lot of things happen down here with 2 and 3 seconds to go. And so you don't dare say the game is over until the final horn is blown. What a game this has been. .62 to 60 is the score. They choose to have their captain, Jim Lentz, to throw the ball in. He's being guarded by Mark Aguirre. They want Aguirre to trouble him. Taylor gets a foul, going to the ball. Thomas, rather. That's Leon Thomas, who picks up a foul and running for the ball.
2 seconds left, 1 second off the clock, and now going to the other end, it'll be Ray Clark for the 1-and-1.
Just a tremendous free throw shooter, who coolly stepped up and tossed in the last 2 that he had there to give him 16 points on the night. He's 10 of 12 so far from the night. They had to get the ball, though. It was no tomorrow once he got his hands on the ball. Ray Clark. What a ball player.
That probably did it, Floyd.
Yeah, that's it. No way they can catch them now, barring a miracle. Rebound, timeout, 1 second on the clock. Aguirre gets the rebound. They call timeout. There's 1 second with the score 63 to 60. They're going to give him an opportunity to shoot it no matter what. Just don't foul is what Pignator will tell him. It's timeout with the score. St. Joseph 63, Westinghouse 60. Pignator will tell them you have a 3-point lead. There's no way they can beat us. Let them shoot it if they want to. Give them the basket. Don't foul. He might not even put his men down on them. He might not put them anywhere near them.
I tell you, he'd be very smart just to leave them in the backcourt.
Leave them in the backcourt.
I mean, just let them walk on the floor and stand in a group on themselves and don't go near anything.
Absolutely. They played excellent basketball, but after all, they are young men, the ages of 16, 17 years of age. Jim Lentz is 18. He's the senior on the ball team in age. And you never know what happens in the excitement of the moment. So I agree with you, Tom Kelly. I wouldn't even let him get anywhere near them.
No, I wouldn't go near the ball. I wouldn't go near a man defensively. I would go over and hold hands if need be in the middle of the floor.
Go over and lead a cheer for the cheerleaders on the side over there. Whip the team up. Well, he walked away from it. Aguirre gets it, throws it up, no good. And there, the game is ended. And the winner of the third quarterfinal game is St. Joseph's of Westchester. And the final score, 63-60. This is the second of 3 high school basketball tournaments being hosted by the Assembly Hall this year. We had the Class A tourney here last week, followed by this, the AA boys tournament.